Okay, folks, welcome back. This is your old pal Hondo doing another video for you on survival tools. Now, this tool is very common, and you can basically find them in most stores. There's different variants and different models. We're going to go at the budget aspect of e-tools, which is an entrenching shovel, or commonly known as a foldable shovel or collapsible shovel. Different varied makes and different models out there on the market. There's a lot of them out there. You can go with the tried and true, trusty American-made type of entrenching tools, which are out there. But you can buy Gerber. There's a bunch of different entrenching tools. These are just basically what I got and I have used over the years. What I think is the best from the worst of the budget
folks,
versions of them.
These are the ones that I own. But these are the ones that you could basically buy pretty much anywhere on the market. We're going to start from the worst of the shovels that I own. Basically, it's just a glorified garden shovel. But even a garden shovel would be better than this option. I think a lot of people buy these little Ozark Trail collapsible folding shovels, thinking they're good for a lightweight EDC type of shovel. They're not. I've used this one for over about a year now, and I think it's one of the most horribly made, worst entrenching tools that I've ever used. I mean, even a garden shovel with a wooden handle would be a better, lighter weight option for a lightweight, ultra lightweight pack hiker than this one. This one here is very dangerous. I've used it in the field when I'm picking through the dirt. It closes, it all constantly does this all the time, and the loosest hole I've ever used this on. I've even used it in my garden to pull up soil, and it still did it. And it's very dangerous when you're trying to use it like this to pick through the dirt. It comes down like that on your fingers, and it has these little sharp edges which will possibly injure you. You may have to wear a glove with this one. I think this is the worst survival shovel or collapsible lightweight shovel there is I've ever used. It's the Ozark Trail stainless steel shovel. I think it's the worst one I've ever used or ever seen. I mean, it's a great concept, but it works horribly. It might work at like a beach or something, you know, where you got a lot of loose sand and stuff to make sand castles. But for a survival shovel or a camping shovel in hard clay with stones, this thing is just garbage. Now, shovel number 2, which I think is a better option than a better budget option than the Ozark Trail one, is this cheap, no name, 12-inch handled entrenching tool. It works a lot better. I've used it for over a year. It's really cheap. It was like $9. Now, it does have some flaws. Now, the screw right here will loosen up constantly while you're using it, and you'll have to constantly tighten it up. The stupid handle right here that you have to twist on there does loosen up, and it kind of just like turns in your hand when you're using it, and that is kind of irritating. And the compass on it doesn't work, but still, this tool is a lot better than the Ozark Trail one, and this one only costs $9. It has a steel washer right here on the screw base. That's a plus right there. It has a 2-tool option on this e-tool, which is a pick. You can use a pick or the shovel option. It's a very flimsy shovel though. You may not want to try to like stick it in the dirt, put your foot on it, and then try to pry up dirt. What you want to use it for is to pick the dirt and then take the loose material out of whatever you're going to be digging. Digging up worms for bait, for survival, digging a small pit for fire, you know, just basic camping chores. This one works a lot better than the Ozark Trail piece of crap. And it's not as bad, I mean, but it's still a cheaply made shovel, but it's still a good trenching tool compared to this one. And it comes with a bottle cap opener, so you could open your sodas if you need to, or it's a can opener. I don't know what that is. right there on the end. It has a nice root saw. I mean, it's not the sharpest root saw I ever used on a shovel. This is not to be confused with a, you can cut wood with it and all. No, it's when you put the saw into the ground, and then when you pull it out and there's roots, it grabs a hold of the roots and cuts the roots out of the way so you can dig more. You know what I'm saying? So it gets the roots out of your way. That's what that saw is good for. It's okay. It's redundant, but it does work. I use this for ginsenging, the pick part for ginsenging, because you got to be really careful when you're pulling ginseng out. So I use the pick part a lot more than I do the shovel aspect of it. Number 3, which I think is probably one of the best survival shovels on the market besides the Coleman. For a budget, it comes in about $9. It comes with a root saw. It's very sturdy. I've used this thing. it has nice positive steel guides, washers that hold it in place. It unfolds a lot easier, but it's not as lightweight as the other two I showed you. And it collapses real easy. Collapses really easy, and you could fold it up, put it in your pack or your vehicle, and stow it away if you need to. It's very tough. This is the Ozark Trail one. This one is very tough. I like it. I could stick this thing in the dirt, put my foot down on it, and pry dirt up if you wanted to. This thing is extremely tough for what it is, for a cheap $9 steel tubular e-tool, entrenching tool. There is other ones out on the market like Gerber, Kershaw, and the tried and true military version and Coleman make a very similar shovel to this one, but this is in the $9 range. You can get this at any Walmart. It works really well. I mean, I could dig for hours with this thing, and it doesn't bend, it doesn't bow, it just stays together really well. The root saw works okay. It's not the best root saw I've ever used on a e-tool, but it gets the job done, and it's coming at you at $9. The handles really well. It's very positive. Weighs almost 2 pounds. This is not going to be your light backpacking shovel or anything like that. This one right here, you might want to use this option as a light backpack shovel over this one. This one is probably your best bet. It's a little cheap, no-name shovel. This one would be more good for base camping, throwing in your freaking truck, throwing in a boat or a canoe or something that you're not going to be carrying this thing around with you all the time. You're just going to keep it at the camp, to use it for camp chores, digging latrines, digging foxholes. You can dig just about anything you want with it. It's a really good competitor to the lot more expensive Gerber, Kershaw, and Cold Steel, which is the next one that I'm coming up with, is the Cold Steel Special Forces Spetsnaz shovel. I think this one here, besides the original smaller Soviet design Spetsnaz shovels, are probably one of the best entrenching tools that you can find on the market. I think this one is the best, and it comes with this nylon cover that goes over it. I don't have it out on this right now, but you can put the cover on it. But this has an extremely sharp root saw on each end. This thing works really good for picking and then shoveling. You can stick it straight in the dirt and then pry the dirt up all you want. This thing is tough and durable. You can use it to chop pieces of wood if you need to, but it's not meant for that. It's just a shovel. It's meant for digging trenches. You can dig fire pits with it, no problem. I've used this thing in the field for almost 2 years since I've had it. A friend of mine gave it to me online, and I did give him something in return. It has a nice hickory handle. It can be pulled out and replaced if you need to. Cold Steel do sell replacement handles for this if you do break it. It has a limited lifetime warranty on it. About $25 to $35, but I think this is the best entrenching tool option there is on the market. You see a lot of people online throwing them into trees and stuff like that. I mean, this would be a great defensive tool because It has a straight handle instead of trying to grab this type of handle. This could also be used as a defensive weapon as well. But if you're going to use it as a defensive weapon, just make sure you don't throw it. I mean, you can throw it, but if you do throw it, you're out of a weapon. Easy to sharpen. You can take a file to it. It's made out of 1055 carbon steel compared to this one being made out of stainless steel. This is the better of all the shovel options because it's made out of carbon steel. And if you know anything about carbon steel, it's been hardened. Rockwell heat treat is like 58 on this, and it is just a stud. I mean, this thing is stout. It works great. Now, what I might have wanted to see on this maybe is the only downside about it is the wood handle. It may break on you in the field, and if it does, you could probably carve yourself a handle. But what I would like to see Cold Steel do with these is to take maybe a polypropylene handle and put a polypropylene handle on this one that's very similar to the wood one. And that handle would be a lot more durable in the field, but I don't think they're going to do that. But other than that, I have no complaints with this one, and I think this entrenching tool, much like a lot of the French spades and some of the real Russian ones, military Russian ones and German ones that are very similar to this one, this is more of a World War I style of an entrenching tool, but this one, out of all of these shovels, is probably the best one that I own. And I would go out on a limb and say this is probably the best entrenching tool that you can buy, besides the American-made e-tool that looks like this one. But other than that, this is the best one. It has a really nice, sharp root saw, so it glides through wood like nobody's business. You can clear brush out of your way in your campsite with it. But you don't want to use this thing for like trying to do feather sticks and stuff like that and trying to chop big, thick pieces of wood. It just doesn't work well for that because of the angle of the blade. When you chop, you gotta constantly stay in the same angle, and when you're chopping with it, it's at an odd angle with the handle that it doesn't chop very well. I like this just for trenching and making fire pits and making latrines and stuff like that, over than trying to use this thing to chop firewood. That's why I got a hatchet. But other than that, I like this one. This one is the best one out of them all. This is not going to be your lightweight pack shovel. I would take this just camping with me if I was going to go down in a base camp and stay for about 2 or 3 days. This is the one I'll take with me to dig a foxhole or, long-term camping, long-term shelter, in shelter, and in a survival scenario. This is the one that you want over the rest of these two. These two right here are the ones that you want for long-term survival. These two here, this one, just garbage. I wouldn't buy it. This one right here would be your good camping shovel, your good lightweight pack shovel, your ultralight hiking type of shovel, couple days camping shovel. This is a good one over the Ozark Trail Crapple. These two here will be good for your long-term bug out type of shovel, e-tool, entrenching tool that you need. Okay, folks, I hope you like this little review on some budget and my thoughts and using these tools in the field for over 2 or 3 years. This is my opinion on this, and this is just my overall thoughts on these tools in particular. Pretty much you can get pretty much all these either at flea markets or online venues or big box stores. If you see them, buy them. Buy these two over the other two, because these two are the best. Well, folks, if you all like this video, please smash the like, share, and subscribe. Leave me a comment and tell me what you think about it and what your thoughts is on e-tools. And I'll get back to every comment. Y'all take it easy. This has been your old pal Hondo from Hillbilly Tactical. You put God first, he puts you first every time. You know what else, YouTube? God loves you. So does Hondo.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love me, even if it's fake.